Be our last lesson in terms of talking about differential equations. Obviously, there'll be another video or a couple videos going over the review questions for this test, but just to let you know that we're approaching the end here. So this lesson, it's going to be another quick video because what I noticed with the textbook that we're using from OpenStax is that it actually takes it to kind of a level you don't have to get to in terms of the AP Calculus exam. So just to let you know, you might see that this says like 4.3.1, 4.3.2. That's because I actually in their Calculus 1 textbook, it doesn't even include any differential equations. So I had to go to the Calculus 2 textbook, which is why I think that some of these examples kind of get into the territory that is not assessed on the AB calculus exam. If you were to take Calc 2 in high school and take the BC exam, maybe it's on there. So anyway, long story short, we're just going to do one example. We're going to follow almost all of these steps here. When we get to step 4, solving the equation for y, we will do our best to do that. But in this one, I'm not going to worry about it because when you guys get to the actual AP review questions, you'll see how you're able to solve for that y. So again, kind of just bear with me on this one, and then we'll get into what it looks like on the AP exam. All right, so let's do one example. All right, we're given this general solution to the differential equation. All right, y prime equals all of this x squared minus 4 times 3y plus 2. So I didn't have to do any algebra to get these two different functions in terms of x and y. So in terms of the first step, all right, what I'm going to do is I am going to find if there are any constant solutions by setting my y function equal to 0. So I'm going to write 3y plus 2 equals 0. This is a linear equation. You've been solving these since you were probably like 14 years old. You move it over to get negative 2, so y equals negative 2/3. So that's kind of step 1 done. Okay? Now, step 2 says we're going to rewrite this. All right? So instead of writing, I'll copy it down again. So y prime equals x squared. You know what? I'll just go to the next slide since I've got the room. So I'm going to copy it down. Y prime equals, all right, this is going to be x squared minus 4 and 3y plus 2. Just confirm that I've got that right. Yes, okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite y prime as dy dx, okay? And then I am going to move this around so that my y value or my y function moves on to the left side with the dy. So with a quick algebra, this is going to be dy over 3y plus 2. All right, and again, quick algebra here is going to be x squared minus 4, and the dx multiplies over. Okay, now we're going to find the integral or the antiderivative of both of these. And the one on the right-hand side is a little bit simpler. All right, you'll see that one not so bad. But the one on the left can be a little tricky, so I'm going to actually use some u substitution here. All right, so u is equal to 3y plus 2. So then du is going to be equal to 3, and then you write dy dx, and then we actually have another dx in there. So those are going to end up crossing out to give you just du equals 3 dy. Now you'll notice in my actual function here, in the integral that I'm looking at, it actually has only dy. It doesn't have 3 dy. So like we did with this in the previous unit, we're going to move the 3 over. So I'm going to move that over with division and write this as 1/3 du equals dy. So now my integral is going to be with the 1/3 out front, and it's going to be u to the negative first power, and then du. Okay? Now, you can look up in your integration formula sheet, but the integral, let me just pull it up since I'm talking about it. So this one here, if I go find it, is right here. Right, so we have the integral of x to the negative first power is the natural log of the absolute value of that. So when I'm doing this, this is going to be 1/3 times the natural log of the absolute value of u. All right, But I don't want to write u. I'm going to replace that with what I had already substituted for u, which is 3y plus 2. All right, so all that being said, let me move to the last slide here, just kind of show you where I am. So this is what the left side became. 1/3 times the natural log of the absolute value of 3y plus 2 equals, and I didn't actually do this yet, so let me show my work here. All right, so this one is going to be 1/3 x cubed minus 4x, and I'm going to put the plus c, even though both sides should have plus c. What they want you to do on the AP exam is actually just put the plus c on the right-hand side. So 1/3 x cubed minus 4x plus c. All right, so now if this were the AP exam, all right, and it's not because it's not going to be this complicated, but if I wanted to continue this to find the solution, I would actually end up solving for y, all right? And I'm going to stop here, and I can show you in class, kind of how it works, right? This is this example from the textbook, and you can look in the textbook. It's on, this one here. It's on Classroom. So we're about here in the middle, number 4, and then there's a lot of like exponentiating here, which you don't need to do on the AP exam. All right, so that's what really comes into being like Calc 2 stuff. So that's why I'm going to pause here and just say I'm going to be done with this, and I'll show you guys with the actual AP questions that we go over in our review of how you'll have to do the next steps. Okay, so anyway, that's it for now. And take a look at the homework question. There's only one, and I'll help you guys in class of how to do the algebra first to get your two x and y functions.